What's up? It's Dak Dirty Spoon from the IWC, and this is the Wrestling Recap Show for July 22nd, 2012. First off, I'd like to apologize for not being around last week. I gotta say, last week was the perfect example of what happens when real life gets in the way of my personal entertainment and the most fun I have pretty much every other week. Yeah, the crazy train that is my life kind of derailed all my extra activities. So I'm now at almost midnight on Sunday night making this video that should have been made, was actually made on Tuesday, but eaten by my computer, and so it took me all this time just to reshoot this. But I'm here, and let's talk about what has happened in wrestling the past week. First, I'd like to say that Money in the Bank, the pay-per-view, while not as good as last year's Epic Encounter in Chicago, was a pretty good pay-per-view. The 4 announced matches, the 2 Money in the Bank ladder match and the 2 championship match, actually delivered some quality wrestling. I've got to say, the high spots in the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match were definitely some of my favorite. I did like seeing Dolph Ziggler again fly over the announce table and several other ladders. Sin Cara was a botch Cara a little bit, but that usually doesn't bother me as much. It's, you know, Money in the Bank ladder match, some craziness, and then there was Santino's funniness with the Cobra. All in all, great match. I enjoyed it. Probably my match of the night. Least favorite match was, of course, the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match, because John Cena won it. Yes, that's exactly why. Because John Cena won it. Because I'm tired of seeing him win. Anyway, if you have the opportunity to check that pay-per-view out, I suggest you do so. It has been announced, though, that the Royal Rumble, the first pay-per-view in 2013, will be from Phoenix. So I don't know what they did, but those lucky bastards. Anyway, then we go to the 999th episode of Raw, recognized as WWE, but their math is a little bit off, but we're not going to hold that against them. And they are making the 1000th episode of Raw a huge deal. They are promoting it like only they did. It is WrestleMania hot, the promotion they have for this upcoming episode of Raw. And it's just a 3-hour episode of Raw. So I'm really looking forward to it tomorrow, because it is a Sunday night. Anyway, I gotta say, the highlights of me for Raw was definitely the main event. Again, surprisingly enough, CM Punk was in the main event. It was a one-on-one match with CM Punk and the Big Show. The Big Show beat down CM Punk pretty well. John Cena comes down to make this huge announcement. The announcement is that he's cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase on the 1000th episode of Raw for a WWE title shot. This makes a lot of sense. I don't see John Cena carrying that briefcase around for months on end. If they get that one out of play, then they can focus on when will Dolph Ziggler cash in, which will lead into what happened on SmackDown. But that entire episode was great. Rikishi came out and squashed Heath Slater, the one-man rock band. It was good to see Big Keish back, and he had a little post-match celebratory dance with his sons, the Usos. So I'm sure that meant a lot to him. Proud pop and all. Also, Daniel Bryan proposed to AJ again. This time he had the ring, and she said yes. So on the 1000th Raw, not only are we going to have Brock Lesnar, DX, The Rock, the John Cena, CM Punk WWE title match, Christian facing defending his IC title against a mystery opponent, but we're also going to have a calamity-filled wedding between AJ and Daniel Bryan. So yeah, that's going to happen. Me personally, I think that's just another ploy to get Daniel Bryan Danielson to his next opponent. I see somebody crashing the wedding, possibly Kane. I hope not, but that's a possibility. Maybe Gail Kim comes back? Yeah, it's not happening yet. I don't know. Something's gonna happen. Weddings in WWE don't necessarily go well. If you're a lady out there planning a wedding, don't have your wedding happen on Raw or SmackDown or pay-per-view. I'm just saying, it just does not come out best for everyone involved. Anyway, they were white hot about the next episode, the 1000th episode from St. Louis, Missouri. If you are watching this video, you need to watch that episode of Raw. I'm definitely going to be keeping that on my DVD-R. Next up, we have Impact Wrestling, and oh my god, TNA. They finally had some advancement to the Aces and Eights storyline that they had. Apparently, this is a gang of people who TNA crack security just can't find in that backstage area. They're wreaking havoc. Last week, they took out Sting and Hogan again. So both Sting and Hogan were not on this program. Dixie Carter was in New York dealing with DirecTV, quote unquote. Anyway, a little real life, a little wrestling. It's my favorite kind. Suffice to say, the Aces and Eights gang, they beat up some people backstage. They beat up Angle. They beat up some new guy who was on Gut Check. Then the main event, they beat up Austin Aries and James Storm. So there was speculation all night that James Storm was hiring these guys to take out members of the Impact roster. That was not the case, or if it is, he also paid him to beat him up. So we don't know. Again, this has been the most interesting storyline in wrestling to me. Well, since everything went nuts over on Raw, but the past few Raws have been awful. I've been more intrigued in who this Aces and Eights gang has been. And I'm still pretty intrigued, and it is very much keeping me paying attention to the TNA product. What is not keeping me paying attention to the TNA product is that stupid AJ angle. But anyway, we'll get past that. And SmackDown is pretty much a recap of Raw. So, and Kane is now AJ's psycho ex-boyfriend. Who knew? I don't know. Anyway. That's pretty much all we got for this episode. Again, apologize for not being around. Definitely gonna put a button on that for next week, and I'm definitely looking forward to doing a post show of the 1000th Raw, just to go over all the craziness that is going to happen with a 3-hour WWE show. This has been That Dirty Spoon from the IWC, signing off.